Have you ever dreamt that you were wearing a particular type of ring? Well, we're going to talk about what a ring can mean in dreams. A ring in a dream can represent a few things. For one, a ring can represent a covenant between two people. A ring can also represent authority, as a signet type of ring can represent someone who's ruling and reigning or in a position of authority. A ring can also represent identity as well, the identity of the person. So it just depends on what's going on in the dream. So we're going to talk about the different types of rings that may have appeared in your dreams. Number one, a wedding ring. So many people have had dreams of weddings, that they were getting married. And so a wedding ring in a dream would represent coming into a covenant relationship. Wedding rings, or rings in particular, have a circle shape. They're round. And so the circle shape would represent an unending relationship, something unending, something eternal, something that lasts forever. So a wedding ring would represent a covenant relationship or a uniting of two people or two specific things. So anytime you have a dream where you're getting married and someone is placing a wedding ring on your finger, that represents coming into a covenant or uniting or joining together with that particular person in the dream. Number two, an engagement ring. So an engagement ring in real life represents a promise of marriage. So in a dream, an engagement ring can represent a promise of something to come. It also represents commitment or agreement, someone coming into a committed relationship or vowing to commit to a particular person, or a person in a dream can represent an organization or a church or a ministry as well. So it represents coming into a committed relationship or a promise of something to come, or a promise of some type of permanent relationship. Number three, an anniversary ring. So an anniversary usually commemorates something, remembers an important date that happened in the past. So if you dream that someone is giving you an anniversary ring, it could be representative of God wanting you to renew past commitment or something he had asked you to do. He wants you to go ahead and recommit to that. It also represents remembrance, remembering something important. So if you have a dream and you receive an anniversary ring, could be representative of renewing a prior commitment or remembering a commitment from the past. Number four, a class or a school ring. So class rings represent a level of education that you have finished. You can receive a high school ring or a college ring, and you receive these rings after you finish a certain level of education. So if you dream that you're receiving a class ring, it could represent that you have reached a certain spiritual level or emotional level in your life. Also, it could be saying that you need to make a commitment to learn more. Maybe there are more things that God wants you to learn, and so the class ring in a dream can represent that as well. Also, it could represent to remember. God could be wanting you to remember the things you've learned in your life, whether they are spiritual principles or family principles. So whatever you have learned, God may be wanting you to remember those things and not to forget life lessons, things you've learned in life. He wants you to remember that and not to forget them. Number 5, a toe ring. So toe rings were really big back in the 1960s and 70s. A lot of young people would wear toe rings. So if you find yourself wearing a toe ring in a dream, it could represent a commitment to ministry or to walk in your calling as well. Also, it could represent a commitment to go in the path where God is leading you. Remember, it's on your toe, so it's on your foot. So feet in dreams will represent a spiritual journey or ministry, that type of thing. So the toe ring could represent a commitment to walk in a particular ministry or walk in the Christian path or towards your destiny or your life's purpose. Number 6, a diamond ring. So diamonds are very valuable. Somebody said diamonds are a girl's best friend. I know I love diamonds. So diamonds in a dream, a diamond ring, would represent a valuable work, something very precious, something very dear, and something very rare. Diamond rings can also represent the heart. It could represent a purity of heart or a faithful heart as well. So you dream you have a diamond ring. Somebody's putting a diamond ring on your hand. It's a commitment to do the precious work of God. Also could be revealing what's in your heart. Number 7, a birthstone ring. So birthstones represent the time that we were born. And so if you have a dream that you're receiving a birthstone ring, it could represent the gifts and the callings and talents that God placed on the inside of you since the time of birth. And he's bringing them forth, or they're manifesting at the time of the dream. Now, some ring dreams can be negative. Again, it depends on the context or the storyline of the dream. For instance, if you have a dream where you're wearing a black ring or a real weird looking, scary type of ring, it could be saying that you are uniting or joining with something that is dark or ungodly. I'll give you an example. One particular woman had a dream one night about a close friend of hers. Now, the close friend was contemplating marrying her high school sweetheart at the time. So the lady had a dream that they were in church. Her friend and the man she was marrying were standing in front of the minister. And as the groom was putting the ring on her friend's finger, the ring turned from gold to black, and she woke up. And the lady knew that it would be a bad idea for her friend to marry this particular man. In other words, what God was showing her was that if her friend married this man, then the marriage would not end well. It would be death to the marriage. In other words, the marriage would die. And so the lady told her friend the dream, but her friend considered it, but didn't really listen. She was bent on marrying this particular man. She was in love. And so she went ahead and married him. And sure enough, many years later, the marriage ended in divorce. So the marriage did die, as the lady had dreamed. So it just depends on what's going on in a dream. Rings can represent positive or represent negative meanings. Have you had any ring dreams lately? If so, leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. I'll talk to you next time.